Hi, it's Jasmita. We're gonna do Victoria's Secret fashion show makeup today. I have been watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show for like years, so long, and I'm a huge fan of the show. The wings, the models, the makeup, the hair, the music, the walk, the concept. Don't even get me started on the outfits. And I've always thought like the makeup they do for the fashion show is probably one of my favorite genres of makeup of all time. I just like it so much because it's like natural with a hint of glam. It's more so about enhancing all of like the model's features, and even when you do it on yourself, it's a very universal makeup look. It's like natural with a hint of glam, makes you feel beautiful, confident, sexy, all of that. So in preparation for this video, I looked at a bunch of different Victoria's Secret fashion show looks and even looks from their campaigns, and I'm not necessarily recreating a specific Victoria's Secret fashion show look from a specific year or of a specific model or a specific campaign. More so just everything I've really loved about Victoria's Secret makeup in general, especially the fashion show, because that tends to be the most glamorous version of their look. So I'm taking all that I've seen, all that I really love about what they do with their makeup look, and creating my own, like kind of like an amalgamation of all the looks sort of like put together, I guess. So like I said, this is a very universal makeup look. So you can wear this and it'll look good on you no matter what. For any outfit, any occasion, whatever it is that you have going on, this is just gonna make you look like the best version of yourself. They create like a different makeup look on every model, so no one looks exactly the same, but it does follow that general idea of it being a universal makeup look. So that's what we're gonna do. So I did moisturizer, sunscreen, and primer, so let's do foundation. I have a very specific, I'm just spreading out my foundation, idea for what I want my base to look like, so that I can create a very like Victoria's Secret looking base. So I'm gonna be as detailed as I can. So I really like to start by applying my foundation like this, like really thin layers of it, and also spreading it out like while I just put it on. So not just dotting it on my face, but also kind of like spreading it so that it's easier for me to blend it with my sponge, like that. Wet latex sponge, always. And just tap to blend. You don't have to blend your foundation all the way down your neck, but just get your jaw at least. I just like to put a little bit extra under my eyes. If you need extra coverage, use your fingers. Personally, I like to bronze before my concealer, so that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna go all the way around my face and bronze my cheeks and my nose. I'm just going straight down the side of my face and on my jaw as well. Very slight amount right here. Making sure that both sides are even, of course. So bronzer is done. And now I'm concealing here, a little bit on my forehead, and bring it up like that. And then down my nose, very thinly down my nose, above my lip, and the chin. So these are more for like concealing and brightening, and then this is strictly all for brightening. I like to use the flat end, and I don't move around the product too much. This way I can get that highlighted effect. So you can see it's a little brighter here, brighter here. I do move this around a little, just kind of in a circular motion, so that the center of my forehead looks a little bit brighter. This in real life and in photography will help your face look more 3D. So that's why we bronze, we add a little darkness, and then lighter parts in the middle of our faces like this, so that it looks more three-dimensional in photos. Victoria's Secret is pretty known for using a red blush. Now I don't have a red blush, so I'm going to use a red lipstick. And even for this, I'm even going to apply it a lot higher than where I would normally put my cream blush, so that when I blend it down, it's where I need it to be. It looks a little heavy now, but I like to put more cream blush on, because when I powder my face later on, the color really like gets desaturated. I'm blending it up to my temple. I like when my blush is like right under my eye, so if you're not a fan of that, you can do concealer after your blush to get rid of that effect, but that's exactly why I do it before my blush. It looks like a very natural looking flush, kind of like a sunburn, but we don't actually want to be sunburned. An eye primer, applying a little bit on the top, and I'm gonna apply some on the bottom lash line too. Make sure you get the crease, the lid, the outer V, the inner corner, everywhere around your eye. You want your eyeshadow to be long lasting everywhere around your eye. I've done the like cream and wet part of I'm gonna powder my face. I'm using the Wet n Wild Photofocus loose setting powder. Now this has talc in it. I think this is my first time ever owning a powder that has talc in it. So far I have not had talc powders. They've all been talc free, and I prefer this. It's a little bit more long lasting. Getting a little bit on the lid. I wish there was a stopper on it, but there isn't. Picking up the powder, evening it out, then blending out the creases and powdering immediately. Blend it out and powder immediately. At this point, I'm not that concerned about the powder being even. I'll use a brush later to clean that up. I really like the way this base is looking so far. I really love the red lipstick as blush. It's really pretty. Tiny bit of the leftover powder here, and just evening it out with a brush. So that's why I wasn't worried about whether the powder on the puff was even or not. I'm just going to make my eyebrows look natural, nothing too crazy. I don't want them to look really filled in. I'm gonna be very light-handed with how I fill in the front area, because that's the lightest part of your brow. And I'm just putting in some gel to set it in place. I'm really excited to do this makeup. I just know it's gonna look so good. So we're just gonna start with a brown eyeshadow and place this everywhere on your lid, your crease, the outer V, and your lower lash line. So you can see the contoured effect of my eye here versus here. I'm just starting at the lid, working the eyeshadow up into my crease. After my brown eyeshadow, I'm just going to place a little bit of the Flexitarian highlighter on my eyes. It's very pigmented, so I'm going to place a little bit down and then use a clean finger to blend it out. And on my inner corner as well. And I'm gonna drag that over here, and I'm applying whatever's left over on my finger between this area right here, so the inner third of the lid. Mostly applying the shimmer on the center. Now, if you're not trying to do a Victoria's Secret fashion show look and you just want a look that will complement you no matter what outfit you're wearing, no matter what occasion you're going, you can just stop here. You can just do a regular brown eyeshadow and place a shimmer here and here, and you'll be done. I'm gonna take my Fenty How Many Carats highlight and place that on top of the center of the lid and the inner third of the lid as well, and the inner corner. Now, in the context of like a fashion show, this would be perfect because of all the lights that are on the runway, and it would make your eyes sparkle perfectly. This highlighter, I'll never be able to get over it. It's just so amazing. If you want extra sparkle, I am just gonna add a little bit of a glitter right here, very slightly in the center, and then moving up just into the crease so that it looks a little bit more blended with the previous highlighter that I used. And I'm also going to apply a little bit in the inner corner. The universal eye look is really simple. All you have to do is contour your eyes. In this case, I did it with a brown eyeshadow, which is going to be the most natural contour effect that you can get on your eye, a matte brown eyeshadow. And then you apply highlighter in the center of the lid, or just the inner half of your lid would be good too. So I just did it on the center of the lid, inner corner, a little bit of a glitter highlight all throughout here, focusing more on the center of the lid and the inner corner, and then glitter on top of the center of the lid and the inner corner. When you layer your glitter like this, it'll give you the best effect. As you can see, it's actually quite a simple look. Let's do a little bit more face makeup and then we'll come back to the eyes. Using powder bronzer going over the areas that I used my cream bronzer. Down the jaw, a little bit on your neck too. Down my nose, a little bit on the sides of my cheeks. I'm gonna do blush. If you're working with something super pigmented like I am with this blush, try using a really sparse brush. It's not gonna pick up a lot of product, so you can see like it's not too dense. This is perfect for that. And I'm gonna use the same highlighter I used on my eyes, Flexitarian by Colourpop. Go down my nose, the sides of my nose as well. Might look a little silly that I'm doing this, but in person, it looks amazing. Top of the lips. I like to put a little bit more than I would anywhere else up here, just because when you reapply your lip products, it tends to fade a little bit. The chin, a little bit on the forehead, connecting it down to my nose highlight, on top of the brows, on the cheek. I like to use my finger for this highlight. I've tried with a brush and it just doesn't really look right. The brow bone, of course, and on the sides of the face, and I'm just gonna connect it to above my eyebrow. I'm starting by highlighting the highest point on my cheek here and then spreading the rest of it out all the way throughout my cheekbone so that it doesn't look like too much all throughout. All of these are high points on your face that you want to bring forward. I'm using now a brush and the same Fenty highlight that I used on my eyes, going down my nose, the sides, my chin, everywhere that I put my Flexitarian highlight. I know you might be thinking, glitter highlight? What? Come on, you know me. You know I love a glitter highlight. In some years, I did notice that they had little bits of glitter on their face, but again, it's not every single year. So like I said, I'm combining all that I like about the fashion show looks and making my own look. If you don't like glitter in your highlight, you don't have to do this. You can just use a shimmer, or even a matte highlighter would be cool too. But when you're in low light or with like a spotlight on you like you would be in a fashion show, this type of highlight being like all throughout your face and everywhere on the high points of your eyes and your lips and stuff, it looks incredible. Before we move back to the eyes, I'm just gonna do a little bit of freckles. Very subtle right here, you can see. I'm not really adding freckles around my nose like I would in my other looks, just because I've never seen any freckles like that in the fashion show. I'm just reinforcing moles that I naturally already have on my face. Highly recommend that you do this. It makes your entire base makeup look so much more natural. And then I'm going in with kind of a hydrating mist so that all of my face makeup doesn't look so powdery. Let's move back to the eyes. Starting with a brown crayon liner, and I usually like to place this in my inner corner. I'm placing it on my lower waterline as well. I noticed that some of the models had a white eyeliner here or a beige one just to open the eyes up more. Some other models had brown eyeliner down here. I really like using brown and black eyeliner, or pure brown eyeliner down here, because I really feel like it gives me that extra pop, that extra definition that is definitely needed for a look like this. Black on my upper tight line. For the actual upper lash line liner, I noticed that in 1 year of the fashion show, I can't remember right now which year it was, but they used blue eyeliner. A lot of the models were wearing blue eyeliner, and I thought that was so cool, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna use an eyeshadow, and it's perfect so that I can smudge it out a little bit. Using an angled liner brush, and you can wet it with a little bit of a hydrating mist or like Fix Plus if you want. I'm starting on the upper outer lash line and lining it as thinly as I can. If the eyeshadow you're using as eyeliner has a lot of fallout, I would recommend picking it up once on your brush, dabbing a little bit on your napkin, and then putting it on your eyes, so you won't have any fallout, it won't get in your eyes, and it also won't be thicker than you want it to be. Like the width of the eyeliner won't be too thick. It's not a bright blue or anything like that, it's just very natural looking. So now that I've applied my eyeliner on, I'm just gonna use my finger to gently blend this out I'm going to add the blue on my lower lash line as well. So just the outer half right here. And I'm blending that as well with my finger. So now you can see the blue eyeliner is on. Now what I'm gonna do is take a black liquid liner and line as closely to my lash line as possible so that it looks like I have super thick lashes, and so that it looks like the blue is smudging a little bit out of the black. You almost can't tell it's there, it just looks like I have really, really dark lashes. I think I heard Jasmine Tookes talk about this a long time ago, that the makeup artists would do this on her, and she asked them how it looks like that, and they told her, if you don't want to use blue eyeliner, you can also use brown, and then smudge that out. I also added a wing here, and mascara is the final step. I'm using black. I like to look down when I'm applying it and raise my eyebrows so it's a lot easier to put on. And as always, I like to point the center lashes up, the outer lashes towards the outer part of my face, and then the inner lashes towards the inner part of my face. It's really important, especially if you're not going to use false lashes. It creates the most rounded and natural eyelash look. Also looks like you have the most volume this way. And I like to move the wand back and forth so that I can deposit a lot of the product at the base of my lashes and then brush that up. This is probably my favorite mascara. I always use this because I prefer a voluminous lash look, so I don't really personally like to use a lengthening mascara. And then a little bit on my lower lashes, but I just like to apply my mascara at the root of the lash, not all the way down the lash. Also adding a little bit of my Fenty highlighter up here as well. For lips, I am using my Whirl lip liner. I always like to start with a teeny bit of lip balm. I'm overlining very slightly at the bottom center and the top center, and then the sides not overlining. After Whirl, I'm going to use Velvet Teddy. I'm also going to use the Revlon Shine Rum Raisin a little bit on top so I can get a more berry pink look. Like that. e.l.f. Crystal Baller Lip Oil. And here is the completed Victoria's Secret fashion show makeup look. So sparkly. I really hope you guys try out this look. It's so beautiful, so sparkly, perfect for any party, perfect for anywhere. Perfect for anywhere that you have to go to. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I really, really hope you recreate this look. I literally can't stop staring at myself. It's so, so cool. Let me know what kind of makeup looks you want to see from me next. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!